what are the 5 mystical, mysterious element you get to really co-create with the divine? And this is the second session. It's the most fascinating one about this program, about the alchemy of divine manifesting. And remember, we're always co-creating with the divine. So what is the first one? Because in this episode, in this session, I should say, we're going to delve deep into what is really the true secret. Actually, they're not even secret. They're the mystical mystery, because most people are not aware of them. And we will also look at why the law of attraction doesn't work for most people. But let's go over those 5 major points, because they're extremely important. And the number one is to align your energy. There are 4 dimensions of you being to align, and it's basically just manifesting through those 4 dimensions. So is to have, if I have to say it in one line, is to master your energy. Devi Ma always say to become a divine alchemist, but when you look deep into it, it's really aligning those 4 dimensions. And some of you might be familiar with some of the things we talk in Becoming the Light Inner Journey Mastery Program. Don't worry if you haven't done it. It might be a little bit, a lot, some of it, but maybe eventually, maybe you'll take the program. It will give you even more insight, because it's a lot of material. So when we talk about aligning the 4 dimension, is always the physical body. Number 1, the Ana Maya Kosha, what we call in the yogic tradition the envelope, the sheaths. And the second one is the mental body. The mental body, what a lot of people don't realize, in the mental body, they are the emotions. The emotions are really connected with the mental body. It's called the Mana Maya Kosha. This is where people really get stuck there in manifesting, because there is a lot of karmic imprint into the programming of human beings, and they get into the way. And in order to manifest, you have to transcend the subconscious mind, because the subconscious mind has all those programming of an individual, the karmic structure, which we, some of you might be familiar already, what we call the samskara. They are actual karmic impression imprinted not only in the physical body, but also in the subtle body. And that's a dimension we talk about, the subtle body, in the Becoming the Light. Some of you might not be familiar with that. So don't worry if you don't grasp everything, you don't understand everything at once. And then, so within the Mana Maya Kosha, the mental body, so you have the emotion. And then you have the pranic body, the pranic Maya, Mana Maya Kosha. So the pranic is very important, because it's your entire energy field. So when you have those 4 dimensions, I say 4 because emotion counts for that. It has a huge effect on how you manifest. They need to be aligned, because if they're not aligned, if your emotion and your unconscious, in your subconscious mind, you have a programming that it doesn't go with what you want to align in the universe, what you want to co-create, no matter how what you try to do is not going to work. So aligning those 4 dimensions is extremely important. And this is where the magic starts happening, a big part of the magic. But then you would say, Devi Ma, how do we do this to align that? Some of you already doing, already on the path for that. You see the Satchit Kriyananda, helps a lot to reorganize those dimensions. And then there are mindful practices. And to bring yourself back to your conscious breath, I always go back to that, and I will reveal to you why it's so important to use those mindful practices, especially the conscious mindful breath, to bring you back to this moment. My home is now. Because you are altering your brain wave. When you connect it, have you noticed that your mental state of mind, if you apply mindfulness, you will realize that your mental state of mind is directly correlated with your breath. Have you noticed that? If you are stressed and your brain is into beta wave, like very agitated, the jabbering mind, which we will talk more about that when we come there. When you bring yourself to this present moment and you're calming yourself with the power of your magical wand, your thoughts, your words, your emotion, that will also come a little later, you will notice that your mind, you bring a sense of calmness. It's because the breath, not only you use the power of your mind, but through the life force energy, you're calming the brain wave. The brain wave, the organ of the brain is just an organ of electromagnetic energy. Electricity is happening there, and we will go into that in the fourth tool, the mystical tool. So we're still on the first one. So mindful practices, going back to your conscious breath, the Siddha Sat Chit Kriyananda, walking meditation, or even Hatha Yoga, any form of Hatha Yoga, those are essential. And little by little, you will notice your energy start going into one direction. Your physical body, your thoughts, your emotion, it affects your energy, your pranic body. And the pranic body, as a consequence, will affect, again, it's like a circle, and that takes us to the number 2 tool. Number 2 is the mystical, mysterious of co-creating, is you got to have an unwavering, focused mind. Aligned with those 4 dimensions, as we say, but through using your magical wand. And you already know what is the magical wand, yeah, but we will explain here for many of you who are not familiar yet. Devi Mayi used this term because you're a divine alchemist, and our Creator empower us with an inner power. We all have a divine inner power. So when we talk about being a divine alchemist and using our magical wand, is using it in a conscious way. So it's from alertness to mindfulness to deep awareness and to pure consciousness. So we have touched a little bit about it. It starts from your thoughts. Thoughts are energy. Everything in the universe is energy. And thoughts, we are emanating electromagnetic energy in the universe. And we have said every reverberation has a sound, every sound has a form. And the universe keeps expanding. We're emanating a certain frequency. So the magical wand is having the right thoughts. But most people are not aware of their thoughts. They have mind pattern, right? You have a mind pattern, you're stuck, and you're not even aware that is controlling your whole life force energy. So that's the first thing. When you practice mindfulness, you become aware. You become a witness of what's going on inside. That's the first. Because people who wants to co-create, they sabotage it. They could do trying to apply the law of attraction, but it doesn't work because they're not mindful that they're not using their magical one, meaning they're not mindful of their thoughts. And your thoughts affect your emotion. Have you noticed that? If you cut yourself, you having a negative emotion, a self-doubt, which is an imprint, a karmic, then you stop. You take a deep breath and you become aware of that samskar. You just breathe in and you just completely let go. And then you can bring an affirmation, a positive affirmation, and you say it out loud. This is how you start changing your karmic impression. This is how you start allowing your fourth dimension. It always starts with the thoughts. The thoughts will affect your energy. Your thoughts and your emotion will affect your energy. And your pranic body will affect your overall being and how you emanate in your surrounding, into the universe. So, single focus on weaving for a long period of time, meaning that it will require tremendous application on your part and some self-effort. Some of you will be easier because you already have some of the yogic tools. You need to have those yogic tools. You know, how do you stop yourself? The mindful practices are so important because this is where you start gaining a mastery over your energy. Because that's what it's all about, the yogic tradition, to become one and co-create. And using that divine energy, because that's basically what we're doing. It requires tools to do this. So, then the number 3, mystical, mysterious, is to reprogram your samskar, reprogram your tendency, what we call the vasana. Because the law of attraction says that you can manifest, right, co-create. But most people don't really know how to do that. Okay, they use affirmation, they use visualization. All of this is great, but often it's not enough. And I will explain to you in depth in number 4 why it's not. Because they don't tap into the brain wave, what we call the theta brain wave. And this is where the magic happens. And we'll get there. But let's continue with number 3 because there's a video in the program. I encourage you to watch it. It's how to remove your limitation and win divine blessing. Because if your samskar, your programming is deep into your subconscious mind. So most people don't even know what's stopping them. They're not even aware of their limitation. And this is where the law of attraction doesn't work. They could try all kinds of things and they don't understand why it's not working. Is because you haven't really transcended into the subconscious mind where you can start altering and transforming those samskar. So that's why Devi Ma was talking about doing sadhana. It helps a lot, the Siddha Satchit Kriyananda. The mindful practicing, all those practices in the becoming the light helps tremendously, and bringing back yourself to your conscious breath, because this is where you have incredible inner power that you can stop and calm down your brain wave. Because you will notice during the day, what's functioning the most And if you ask yourself that question right now, you notice the jabbering mind is constantly going on. And most of the time, you're not even conscious of it. So you live most of your life into the mental body. So if you live there most of the day, guess what brain wave you have going on? Is the beta wave. The beta wave is the agitated wave. It's the awakened state of alertness, the jabbering mind. Most people live their life there when we talk about the mental power they use. Again, this is not right and wrong, don't get me wrong. Beta wave, brain wave, is useful for certain things. But when it comes to what we love to do is to co-create with our creator, not just for us, but for all living beings, then you need to go into a different state of brain wave, because brain wave are directly correlated with a deeper state of consciousness. So as the mind calms down in electromagnetic energy, the deeper you will go into a state of pure consciousness. Remember, we said from alertness is more beta wave, to mindfulness. That's why mindfulness practices are so empowering, because when you stop and you really truly apply mindful practices that Devi Ma teach, you will notice your mind is calmer. You know why your mind is calmer? Because you're working more with the life force energy when you're breathing. And you're bringing your brain wave from beta to alpha. And we're going to get there now, so you'll understand, you'll have a deeper understanding. But let's continue on number 3, mystical, mysterious yogic tool. Is if you don't help reprogram the deep programming into your subconscious mind, no matter what you do, if there is a strong imprint, either from this lifetime or a past lifetime, that you're not worth it, an example, or you have self-doubt, or you're insecure, you have low self-esteem, especially for you, beloved, if you have grown up in a dysfunctional family. Wouldn't you agree most people suffer from those low vibrational energy? It's so rampant in the world. And most people don't even know, because it's deep in the subconscious mind. And it's a deep state of consciousness that most people don't know how to get there. Have you noticed that? It's like most people don't know how to calm their mind. And that's why the guided meditation with the transmission in this program are really effective for success, to help reprogram those samskar, those impressions, reprogram the vasana, the highly vibrational affirmation, the same. And you're doing it with a single focus, mindfulness, and steadily, and twice daily. You will notice out of a sudden, like a couple of weeks later, oh my God, it's a different kind of energy is running into your whole subtle body. You will even hear the affirmation coming up out of a sudden. I am a divine being of light. And you say, wow, you feel it. You know, it's like you literally, through the guided meditation, which bring you into a theta wave, you reprogramming, you deep programming, you are altering and transforming those karmic impression and those vasana. So watch this video, because in that video, as a gift on the program, I go in depth on that. And there is no much to talk about to know that you can change your karma. You can transform your karma, because karma, certain karma we can transform. And when it comes to that, we can really work with our magical wand and with all the yogic tool that you already have learned. And if you haven't done so, we encourage you, because that will empower you to a different level.